Dante's voice cuts through the silence like a blade. You're a virgin. Nadia freezes in the leather chair, cheeks burning. The billionaire she's never met until 30 seconds ago just repeated her most private truth aloud in front of the doctor, the nurse, the sterile white walls. She lifts her chin. And if that's a problem, Mr. Moreno, you can rip the contract right now. He steps closer, all towering muscle and expensive scent, eyes locked on hers. Oh, it's a problem, he growls, voice low enough to vibrate through her bones. Because I'm about to cancel $500,000 and pay double just to keep any other man from ever touching you. Her breath catches so hard it hurts. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to Mr. Cael. Stories where love isn't safe, it's seismic. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a single heartbeat. Drop a in the comments if you've ever had someone look at you like you're worth burning the world down for. Because what Dante reveals next will leave Nadia speechless and you glued to every second. Let's dive in. The consulting room smelled faintly of lemon antiseptic and the kind of cologne that costs more than most people's rent. Nadia Torres sat ramrod straight, knuckles white around the strap of her worn purse. 26 years old, a virgin by choice, not chance, and now she was about to trade that choice for $500,000 and a stranger's child in her womb. Dr. Brennan flipped another page. Miss Torres, the client has very specific requirements. I read them, she said, voice steady even if her stomach wasn't. I'm healthy, I'm fertile, and I'm ready. The door opened without a knock. He filled the frame the way storms fill horizons. 6'4", shoulders that strained the seams of a charcoal Tom Ford suit, eyes the color of midnight after rain. Dante Moreno didn't walk into rooms. Rooms rearranged themselves for him. He stopped 2 feet from her chair. The doctor's words died mid-sentence. Dante's gaze flicked to the file, then to her face. You're a virgin, he said. Not a question. A statement that landed between them like a live wire. Nadia lifted her chin. And if that's a problem, Mr. Moreno, you can rip the contract right now. Silence pulsed. The nurse stared at the floor. Dr. Brennan looked like he wanted to evaporate. Dante's eyes never left hers. Oh, it's a problem, he said, voice velvet and gravel. Because I'm canceling the surrogacy. Nadia shot to her feet. You can't. I just did. He nodded once at the doctor. Everyone out. Dr. Brennan opened his mouth, thought better of it, and scurried. The nurse practically sprinted. The door clicked shut, leaving only the two of them and the frantic drum of her heartbeat. Nadia folded her arms. You don't get to swoop in here and play hero. My brother is dying. That money will be in your account by morning. Dante reached inside his jacket, pulled out a slim black envelope, and set it on the desk like it weighed nothing. $200,000 up front. The rest I'll pay the hospital directly. Mateo gets the kidney. You keep everything that's yours. She stared at the envelope, then at him. Why? He stepped closer. Close enough that she had to tilt her head back. Close enough that she could see the faint scar slicing through his left eyebrow, the tension in his carved jaw. Because no woman, he said quietly, should have to sell the first time some bastard never deserved, just to save the people she loves. His words cracked something open inside her chest. You think this makes you noble? She whispered, handing out cash like it fixes everything. I think it keeps me from becoming the kind of man who takes something sacred from a woman who's already given too much. Nadia's eyes burned. She hated him for seeing her so clearly, hated the way her pulse raced when he looked at her like she was the only thing in the room worth noticing. You don't even know me, she said. Dante's gaze dropped to her mouth for one heartbeat too long. I know you walked in here ready to break yourself open for someone else, and I'm selfish enough to want you whole. The air between them turned electric. She should grab the envelope and run. Instead, her voice came out barely above a whisper. You're going to regret this. A slow, dangerous smile curved his lips. Already do. He turned to leave. At the door he paused, hand on the handle. Take the money, Nadia. Save your brother. And when you're ready to hate me properly, you know where to find me. The door closed behind him with the soft finality of a gunshot. Nadia stood rooted to the spot, envelope heavy in her trembling fingers, heart slamming against her ribs. She thought that would be the end. 3 days later, a soft knock came at 9:17 p.m. in Boyle Heights. She opened the door, and there he was. No suit this time. Dark jeans, black Henley stretched across his chest, sleeves pushed up to reveal forearms corded with muscle and ink. Rain misted his hair, making the strands curl against his forehead. Nadia gripped the doorframe. "What are you doing here?" Dante's eyes drank her an old UCLA t-shirt, bare feet, hair twisted up in a messy knot like she was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. "I came to check on you," he said. "I'm fine." "Liar." He smiled, small and crooked. "Let me in, Nadia, just for a minute." Against every rational cell in her body, she stepped aside. The apartment smelled like caldo de res, and the lavender candle Nadia burned to hide the lingering hospital scent that clung to everything. Mateo was asleep in the back room, machines humming softly beside his bed. Dante stepped inside like he was entering holy ground, careful not to let the door slam. His gaze swept the tiny living room. The sagging couch patched with duct tape, the stack of overdue bills held down by a Virgin Mary statue. The single-framed photo of Nadia and Mateo at last year's Christmas, both of them smiling like the world hadn't already taken huge bites out of them. He didn't flinch at any of it. "Your brother," he said quietly. "How is he?" "Surgery's in 4 weeks." Nadia folded her arms, shielding herself. "Thanks to you. That's not why I'm here." "Then why are you—" She hated how small her voice sounded. Dante took 1 step, 2, until the heat of him warmed the air between them. "Because I can't stop thinking about you," he said, rough and honest. "I've closed 9-figure deals without breaking a sweat, but your face, it's been living behind my eyes for 72 hours straight." Nadia's breath trembled. "Mr. Moreno." "Dante." He reached out, slow enough that she could move away. She didn't. His knuckles brushed her cheek, callous thumb tracing the line of her jaw. "Say it, Dante," she whispered, and the name felt like sin on her tongue. He exhaled like she'd punched him. "You canceled $500,000, she said, trying to hold on to anger and failing. "You paid for my brother's life out of—" "What? Guilt? Pity? Obsession," he corrected. "The second you looked me in the eye and dared me to judge you, I was done for." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "This is insane." "Probably." His hand slid to the nape of her neck, gentle but possessive. "Tell me to leave, Nadia. Tell me you don't feel this, and I'll disappear forever." She should. God, she should. Instead, she rose on her toes and kissed him. It was soft at first, hesitant, testing. Then Dante made a low, broken sound in his throat and took over. One arm locked around her waist, the other tangling in her hair as he kissed her like a man drowning. She tasted coffee and rain and raw need. Her fingers curled into the cotton stretched across his chest, feeling the wild thunder of his heartbeat matching hers. When they broke apart, foreheads pressed together, both of them were shaking. "I don't need saving," she whispered against his lips. "I know." He kissed the corner of her mouth, her cheek, the pulse racing at her throat. "That's why I'm terrified of how much I want you." Nadia pulled back just enough to look at him. "My life is a mess, Dante. Hospital bills, night shifts, a sick kid. I don't want perfect," he said fiercely. "I want you." She searched his face for the lie and found none. "Then stay," she breathed. The words shattered the last of his restraint. He lifted her like she weighed nothing, her legs wrapping instinctively around his waist as he carried her down the narrow hallway. She pointed to her bedroom, tiny, cluttered with laundry baskets and nursing textbooks. He didn't care. He lowered her to the bed like she was made of spun glass, then followed her down, covering her body with his. Clothes disappeared in frantic whispers, his shirt over his head revealing a torso carved from discipline and discipline alone. Her faded sleep shorts tugged down smooth legs. When skin finally met skin, Nadia gasped at the heat of him, the sheer size and strength held carefully in check. Dante paused, cradling her face. "We stop any time. You say the word," she answered by pulling him closer. His mouth found hers again as he settled between her thighs. Every touch was reverent, fingertips tracing the curve of her waist, lips brushing the hollow beneath her ear, whispered Spanish against her skin that made her shiver. When he finally pushed inside her, slow, careful, watching her eyes the entire time, Nadia's breath caught at the exquisite stretch, the feeling of being utterly claimed and utterly cherished at once. "Okay?" he rasped, voice shredded. She nodded, arching into him. More than okay. He moved like he was memorizing her, every thrust measured to draw soft cries from her lips. When her nails dug into his shoulders and her body began to tighten, he slipped a hand between them, stroking her exactly where she needed until pleasure crashed over her in blinding waves. Dante followed seconds later, burying his face in her neck, her name a prayer as he let go. Afterward, he held her close, fingers drawing lazy circles on her back while their breathing slowed. Nadia traced the scar above his eyebrow. "Where did this come from?" "Long story," he murmured, kissing her wrist. "One I'll tell you tomorrow, and every day after if you let me." She smiled against his chest, sleepy and sated. "We'll see, rich boy." He chuckled, the sound rumbling through her. "Challenge accepted. If you're feeling your heart race right now, smash that like button and type 'I felt that' in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're not subscribed yet, join the family so you don't miss what happens when Dante's past comes knocking. Trust me, you're going to need tissues." Sunlight slipped through the thin curtains, painting gold across tangled sheets and bare skin. Nadia woke slowly, deliciously sore, to the feel of Dante's arm locked around her waist like he'd never let go even in sleep. His breath was warm against the back of her neck, steady and deep. For one perfect minute, the world was quiet. Then his phone buzzed on the nightstand, once, twice, relentless. Dante stirred, pressing a lazy kiss to her shoulder before reaching for it. The moment he saw the screen, every muscle in his body went rigid. "Shit," he muttered. Nadia rolled over, sheet clutched to her chest. "What is it?" He sat up, back to her broad shoulders suddenly carved from stone. "I have to take this." He was already swinging his legs off the bed, reaching for his jeans. Something cold slid down her spine. "Dante." He paused, but didn't turn around. "Give me 2 minutes." He stepped into the hallway, pulling the door almost closed behind him. His voice was low, clipped, a tone she'd never heard before. "I said I'd handle it. No, the deal is off the table. Because I'm done letting you use my name for your games, that's why." Silence. Then, sharper. "Don't threaten me, Isabella. You won't like how this ends." Nadia's stomach dropped. Isabella. She'd seen that name once on the original surrogacy contract, buried in fine print. Isabella Moreno. The wife Dante had never mentioned. Not once. The door creaked open. Dante stepped back in, expression unreadable, phone now dark in his hand. Nadia was already sitting up, sheet wrapped tight like armor. "You have a wife." He didn't deny it. That was the first knife. "She's my ex-wife," he said quietly. "Almost. The divorce has been in court for 2 years. She's complicated." "Complicated?" Nadia laughed, sharp and bitter. "You slept with me while you're still married. Legally separated. I haven't touched her in 3 years. I swear on my life, Nadia. Don't." She was on her feet now, yanking yesterday's clothes from the floor. "Don't swear on anything. You let me believe I was the first person you'd wanted in a decade. You let me. I didn't lie about that." He moved toward her. She backed up until the wall stopped her. "Everything I felt, everything I said last night was real. You omitted the part where you're still married to the woman who hired me to carry your child." Dante's face went white. "You think I knew? Don't play dumb. Isabella Moreno is listed as co-client on every single document I signed." He dragged a hand through his hair, eyes wild. "I never wanted a surrogate. That was all her obsession with an heir after the doctors told her she couldn't carry again. She forged my signature, used shell companies, everything. I only found out 3 weeks ago. That's why I shut it down the second I saw your file." Nadia's knees nearly buckled. "You shut it down. Because of me?" "I shut it down because I walked in that room and saw you," he said, voice raw. "And I knew I'd burn every dollar I owned before I let her turn you into a transaction." He took one careful step closer. "I should have told you the first night. I was going to after the surgery, after you didn't have to be afraid anymore. I was terrified if you knew. You'd look at me like you're looking at me right now." Tears burned her eyes. "And how am I looking at you? Like I'm just another liar who hurt you." Silence stretched, thick and suffocating. Nadia swallowed hard. "I need you to leave. Nadia. Please." He looked like she'd struck him. For a long moment he didn't move. Then he nodded once, grabbed his shirt, and walked to the door. At the threshold, he stopped. "I'm going to fix this," he said without turning. "All of it. The divorce. The mess Isabella made. And then I'm coming back. And if you tell me to disappear forever, I will. But I'm not giving up on us until you look me in the eye and mean it." The door closed softly behind him. Nadia slid down the wall, buried her face in her knees, and cried until there was nothing left. "If your heart just cracked in two, Hit that like button so hard YouTube feels it. Type, "He should have told her," or "I'd give him another chance." In the comments, I need to know where you stand right now. And if you're not subscribed with notifications on, do it quick. Because what Nadia does next will either destroy them both or heal everything. 3 weeks of silence. Dante didn't call, didn't show up, didn't send flowers or lawyers or private jets. He simply vanished from her life like a fever dream. Nadia told herself it was relief. She threw herself into Mateo's recovery, physical therapy appointments, new prescriptions, the first time her little brother laughed without coughing blood. She went back to her night shifts at the diner, smiled at customers who never knew she was breaking apart inside. But every night she fell asleep with the ghost of his hands on her skin. Then came the knock. 10:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Rain hammered the roof like punishment. She opened the door expecting a neighbor. Instead, Dante stood, soaked to the bone, white dress shirt plastered to every hard line of his torso, hair dripping into eyes that looked like they hadn't slept in weeks. In his right hand, he held a thick manila envelope. In his left, a single red rose already wilting from the downpour. "I fixed it," he said, voice hoarse. Nadia gripped the door. "Fixed what?" "Everything." He lifted the envelope. "Divorce decree, signed by the judge this morning. Isabella's out of my life for good, took every dirty secret I had on her, but she's gone. The surrogacy contract is dissolved, the agency is under investigation, and your name has been erased from every file." He dropped to one knee right there on the wet welcome mat, water pooling around him. "I don't have excuses anymore," he said, looking up at her. "I have truth, and I have this." He held out the rose, then the envelope. Inside was more than papers. A check made out to the Torres Moreno Foundation, the one they hadn't even founded yet, for $25 million, and beneath it, a small velvet box. Nadia's breath stopped. "Dante, I'm not asking you to forgive me tonight," he said. "I'm asking for the chance to earn it, every day, for the rest of my life." He opened the box. A simple platinum band with a single flawless diamond caught the hallway light and threw it back like starfire. "I love you, Nadia Torres. I loved you the second you dared me in that doctor's office. I loved you when I was too much of a coward to deserve you. And I'll love you whether you say yes or tell me to burn this ring and disappear forever." Thunder rolled overhead. Rain lashed sideways. Nadia stared at the man on his knees, the same man who commanded boardrooms and billions, now trembling in front of her like she held his entire world in her hands. She stepped forward, took the rose, and let the thorns bite her thumb until a bead of blood appeared. "You hurt me," she whispered. "I know. You broke my trust? I know. And if you ever hide something from me again, I'll hand you the match to burn my life down yourself." A tear slipped down her cheek, mixing with the rain on his face when she cupped it. "I love you too," she said. "God help me. I never stopped." Dante surged up, crushing her to him, kissing her like a man who'd been given a second heartbeat. She kissed him back just as desperately, salt and rain, and redemption on their tongues. When they finally pulled apart, foreheads pressed together, he slipped the ring onto her finger with shaking hands. "Marry me," he breathed. "Not because I saved your brother. Not because I have money or power or anything to offer except every broken, healed, and healing part of me. Marry me because when I'm with you, I remember how to be human." Nadia laughed through her tears. "Yes. 1,000 times yes." He kissed her again, deeper, slower, until the rain didn't matter and the world narrowed to just them. Epilogue. 2 years later. The Torres Moreno Foundation Gala glittered under crystal chandeliers. Nadia, radiant in emerald silk, that hugged every curve pregnancy had gifted her, stood at Dante's side while cameras flashed. In his arms slept their 6-month-old daughter, Isabella Valentina, named for the woman they'd turned into a cautionary tale, and for the grandmother Nadia never got to meet. Mateo, now 17 and healthy, ran past with a plate of cake, shouting, "Dad, Mom says you're not allowed more than one slice." Dante grinned, pressing a kiss to his daughter's dark curls, then to his wife's lips. "Worth every fight," he murmured against her mouth. Nadia smiled, eyes shining. "Worth every tear." And later, when the lights dimmed and the music slowed, he pulled her onto the dance floor, hands spanning the small of her back exactly where they'd always belonged. "I'd do it all again," he whispered. "Every painful second, just to end up right here." Nadia rose on her toes, brushing her lips over his. Then let's never end. They danced until dawn, two hearts that had survived fire and come out unbreakable. The real ending? It's still being written every day, every kiss, every promise kept. If this story set your soul on fire, smash that like button until it glows. Type, "They deserve this," in the comments and tell me your favorite moment. I'm reading every single one tonight. Share this video with someone who needs to believe in second chances. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now with notifications on, because the next love story is going to wreck you in the best way. Thank you for crying, laughing, and falling with me. This is Mr. Cael Stories, and I'll see you in the next one.